this early flutter. You want to avoid those fights.
I think that's probably been the story of Group A in a nutshell through the first 10 matches, is circle shifts that are forcing fights. We saw it on day one. We've seen it really again here on day two. The circle has really hit lobby, almost putting all these players and teams almost like puppets to the enjoyment of the circle for all of the viewers. Danoa, a little bit inconsistent despite being third place. 71 points in total. They have some big games and they have some poor games, and obviously they finished last with the 1 kill in our previous match for match number 9. Earlier than that, they finished second last with no kills. That one being a couple games before, which is in and around the fact that they then played a game with 11 kills and fourth with 7 kills.
Yeah, Danoa are similar to what you were talking about at SGD, where they're really, really good at team fighting. If they're up in your face and it's a 4v4, or in some cases even a 2v4, they do very, very well. But when they need to rotate far, things can kind of become a problem. So I'm actually really worried for a team like that, especially in a circle like this.
Well, Na'Vi made the early rotation from mainland to Sosnovka Island, and they will get rewarded with a nice crate if they go into the water to go and get that one. There is actually a boat.
I think it's on the coast.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely gettable, but it is also somewhat dangerous still to say a team like Cerberus. The Axe making their rotation now as well. They've got a bit of a 2-2 split at the moment. Still 2 players over towards the quarry. Then 2 more making their way into Sosnovka Island.
No one's gone on the ferry just yet. Seen a bit more of that as time goes on. It's very risky players, but GX from the west coast. There's got to be at least one that swings down to the south. That's been a pattern that we've seen in Americas. But Vard trying to take some shots, get rid of those tires. It's going to be too hard to pick up their opposite end.
This is what I was thinking of with this kind of circle, the bridge camping shenanigans. The Vega on one side, and then Overpeakers on the other. And in terms of that Lighthouse bridge, well, Sonics have pulled up towards Very Pierce side, and then you've got 22 Esports holding essentially the compounds just south of.
So Vega hold here on the bridge. Cerberus and Overpeakers haven't been able to cross, which means that these teams dropping. They're on 5, even New Happy, unless we see them take a boat. The down swinging around coming in from the south, similar to how GEX did. We might be seeing a lot of fights here on the coast. Big Pot doing a lot to just try and deal damage in terms of spacing, in terms of positioning for a lot of the opposing teams. Now, if it swings to the north, it's not going to be that impactful. But if it does commit down to the south, so many teams stuck on the north side, it's going to be a rough rotation once again.
Have Seong Jang over towards Radio Tower as well, just being able to get a lot of information for the actual position on Sosnovka, making sure no teams really push over to that position. You see one break, of course, holding those hills just north of the military base. Na'Vi is north of them. So kind of look at the teams that have made their way over to Sosnovka Island. Everyone's quite situated, and the teams on the mainland that have still not really gone and moved a whole lot. New Happy and Tropic all up north still. They'll, of course, be sort of pushing and holding that mainland position, which is already quite congested. Still 2 minutes until phase 2, and then we can get our end of it. There's going to be half the lobby really upset with the phase 2 circle, and the other half are going to be extremely happy, depending, of course, where it goes.
I will say, I don't think there's anyone really happy right now. Because even if Circle 2 does shift, unless it's a hard shift far north where Twisted Minds would be center, or far south where KDF and 22 would be center, it's still going to have a lot of unanswered questions this early on.
Tiamba Esports trying to find a boat, but they are coming in very late in trying to do so. We'll backfill into Ferry Pier where we're holding a bit now to that lighthouse position.
Happy also pushing in. No one immediately in front of them, though, and Tropic are not far off. But yeah, Sonics. They're actually very, very comfortable with the position. This is routinely where they like to go when they leave Pachinki. So the fact that they're able to grab Gatka, again, this allows them more to their game plan. But right now, Twisted Minds, Tropic coming right on in. It's an early fight, and it's not where I would have expected it to be.
And they've already lost 2 immediately. Lucarix, unfortunately, not helping himself out as QBE. I don't think is at all saying that. Unfortunately for Entropic, it's another poor game from them. Spyro will the body of Lucarix. So 2 kills for Twisted. They don't really need
They don't need any of them. They've already broken triple digits. They're already past the hard cut for top. They're about to get a third. Danimal and Taxi can't get any of their own. But, I mean, on one hand, this is good for Entropic because if they're going to feed kills to anyone, it's the team that won't need them.
It's not good for Entropic.
Well, no, but if they're going to feed kills to anyone, it might as well be the team that's not going to be
Yeah.
contesting the bubble.
They cannot be.
Everest, General also swinging on in. Gonna have to swim across, which gives Navi potentially the opportunity for kills, depending how hard they might want to.
Big moment here for Cerberus. They've got the from Twisted Minds. Tycon is holding up close, and they're not going to be aware of his initial position. He has got the intel as well onto Twisted Minds that he can convey back over to the rest of the team. Perfectix is making the push down. Good trigger discipline to not shoot initially from Tycon. Hold his position. He spots two at once. He can play off of that. For a young player, for a star young player, this level of trigger discipline is absolutely perfect. He knows that he's not in danger just yet. He knows that they have not spotted him just yet. Now they have. Now he's got to shoot, and he gets the initial down onto Perfectix, pulls out the nade. He needs a bit of help, though, from the rest of his team.
Do they have the angle, though? Can they find it? The grenade goes too far. I see that! It goes perfectly! He knew exactly where Spyro was. Heat-seeking missile. Oh, and Opportunity's going to drop down into a Molotov. It is falling apart for Twisted Minds.
18-year-old unfortunately pushes out a little too early, and Lou will punish him for that duck mine. Couldn't land the headshot, but he's getting lit up, though, by Hisaki, who's got a really good angle, a good wrap. Cerberus plate is perfectly, but Dolan is the last one on the left. Oh, it's a clean wipe. Absolute annihilation from Cerberus. Vietnam will send Twisted Minds out in last place.
Twisted Minds not really going to care about that. They're more than safe in the top 8, but everyone else is going to be loving this because they're not going to be there to steal more points than they are.
4 big points for Cerberus. They're on 66 points now, tied with New Happy, 1 point above Na'Vi. Good company to be in for the APAC team that is leading the way for Group A from that region. Overpeakers have been able to at least get across the bridge and playing now the position that Bega once were.
But it's not in the zone. They're trying to hold, trying to backfill to make it hard for other teams that are coming behind them. Maybe Cerberus is the one that they were probably expecting from Farm, but also New Happy as well. How long do they hold on to the position is the question. Na'Vi, they're on the south side in a really, really strong position. They couldn't keep Danawa from breaching the coast, but they can keep them potentially from pushing too deep in.
You stay in the blue. Phase 2, it's not going to do that much damage. You really want to make sure and try and force New Happy over to Lighthouse Bridge. It just makes it a little bit easier for Overpickers that they don't then have teams pushing behind them.
Yeah.
As long as they've got good medical supplies, they can actually sit in the blue for the entirety of the rest of Phase 2, which is another 30 seconds, and even into Phase 3, just to make sure that a team doesn't push behind them. And it is what they're doing.
Yeah. For Overpeakers and other teams like even New Happy and Cerberus, who are shooting at each other, the blue is not going to do that much damage. It's not worth the risk right now, and all 4 in a singular boat. It only gets weirder and riskier as time goes on.
And yeah, time goes on, the closer they get to Sosnovka Island, of course, there's going to be other teams that will be shooting towards them. Danawa, to be exact, potentially even the likes of Sonic, so they're at 5 there. Yeah, Danawa should be able to maybe pick up a down or 2 here on Cerberus, but Lampu's got to deal with him as well. They are getting closer towards the beachfront, and Cerberus still have not had a player knocked out of this boat.
I'm shocked.
I just said it, him as then gets knocked, but the reason they make it to the beach, they can throw the smokes out. Cerberus have done an amazing job to even get to this position.
I am shocked. In fact, they might even get the 5 and still remain as 4.
Yeah.
And no one's here to really angles. Limber's the only one has the line of sight. That's really powerful. And it's still going to be hard movement for them, but this phase number 3, it's going to be around that Na'Vi, somewhere between 9 and 22. So a lot of teams that are already on the here, not so many center.
And I've got it on us, right? So one update, Overpeakers are still holding that bridge, and New Happy still on the other side of it. Both are playing a game of cat and mouse. Who's going to blink first? Mexi has pushed out, but the other three members of Overpeakers. Don't be surprised if we go back to the bridge. There it is immediately as I've said it, because I think New Happy are gearing up to make the push, and Overpeakers have stayed in blue. Deep phase 3, they will pop out and surprise New Happy.
Overpeakers, underpeakers. They've been hiding in them, then hoping that New Happy take the bait, and that doesn't seem to be the case. Glib trying to find the angles. EP does stop short, just in case. They don't trust Overpeakers, and honestly, I wouldn't either.
This is what makes them such a great team, though, that they are even somewhat expecting this, and despite expecting it, Cameron, they still will fall for it. Shot, though, lands on Tavad. James with a big shot back the other way, though, for the Overpeakers. This is largely successful. Watch out for that UAC at the Coast Guard, James. Just watch out. You never know. Nan on 30 health, and then Ming Ming's still alive as well. The Clip going for the revival to Vard. Now, you've got to remember, there's a minute until phase 4, and once it gets into phase 4, that's when it's really going to start hurting.
Wait, I saw another logo. I saw another icon. UBE from Entropic is swinging in from behind New Happy, and they are probably going to not be expecting this.
Well, definitely Ming Ming, Nan will not be expecting a player pushing from behind them. With 48 seconds until phase 4, deep in the blue, Cerberus have made their way to the rock. What a tremendous push from Cerberus so far. I mean, a perfect 15 minutes from them in the final game of the day.
Figures backing away. New Happy have clocked it. Now they have some space to move on in. Hopefully, as you said, the meds are there. Oh, take the shot.
I don't know if he can. That's a tough shot to hit. QB, though, very, very patient here. Wait for Nan to cross the road, but he's not scoped in here. Does have first aid kits, and of course there's vehicles in front of him that he can go and collect and make his way further in. But once it goes and ticks over to phase 4, that damage will be quite significant. Shots go out, that's a down on Dan, and unfortunately for New Happy, it looks as if they will end today at around that 66-point mark, so not quite safe going into the final day.
No, but still good. Still reasonable, and how they've played before the shenanigans by Overpeakers, I'm not too worried about them going to the day number 3, but let's put our attention back onto the rest of the map. Navi still center. It's still, the circle is still centering up around those hills to the north of the military base. Again, all these teams are still on the edge, on position, getting a couple of kills.
So Ming Ming eliminated by QBE in the end. It's New Happy, though. We'll go in second last position, so that's actually first and fourth on our leaderboards gone. So a bit of that top heaviness may not be in effect for the game of the night. Shen, good shots up to the junior, trying to just make a run on the bridge or on the catwalk on the side. Nine's been knocked by Hasitant, Leo too by Exquisite. So T5 at least get a down onto SGD, can relieve some of that pressure as they try and continue to make their way off of the bridge. Ranger X eliminated already, and Rossid's down. It's all in last position. They do get a point onto Leo's elimination, and QBE goes down to the blue.
Topic out. 13th place right now, and SGD, Sophia pushing forward, trying to revive Shen. And this is going to give an opportunity for T5 to get their own revive, but they need to break some way, because the blue is closing at their back, and they still need to make their way inside the zone. Grenades coming out. They're close.
Oh,
they're better.
That's down to Jansen, not to on tree, expecting the push now, gets his gun out, but not going to be enough. There it's on 5. Big squad wipe onto SGD. And they've still got 3 players alive. Tiamba, though, wanting to push and see if they can punish while they're still out in the open, and they do catch Exquisite while he was still somewhat vulnerable. James fun kill onto Salt. Mine will get rid of Exquisite and still steal that point away. Much needed points for the Sonics.
Anymore, it's a very strong compound that they out from Nemec to the zone. Right now, fighting pods, Korea on Korean violence. Pio with the ankle, but a lot of smoke on KDF's side allows EN to get the med off. Oh, wait, who's that flanking? DG98 is swinging all the way to the south side.
Will it work, though? He has to keep pushing and quickly, because obviously Vegaput under the threat, but they've been able to get the knock onto Hikari, and no one else has been knocked yet either. DG98 not really close just yet. But fortunately for Vegaput, they've got that initial knock, and I think they will get that kill onto Hikari confirmed. But DG98 just keeps pushing closer. I think we'll probably go to his PO very, very soon because he might just be able to get a card and Lash K.
SS White GEX, they have a line of sight on this. They're hanging out inside the barracks, inside the base.
Oh, throws the nade from the blue. DG98 gets the first second. No, he couldn't get it quite. Lash K did get knocked down, but it was a CAD who got the turnaround elimination onto DG98. So Vega don't really get a whole lot from that. Over to Guangdong Freaks, and they actually will be able to get the revive, so they'll have 3 players. Over to Tiamba Esports still, now pushing over to Sonic. Sonics, I'm going to say it, Kermit, they need to win this fight. They need to get this wipe to Tiamba.
Oh, absolutely. You will hear no disagreement from me, but Haisaki is going to be there. Another swinging in from the opposite side. Mime's trying to answer back and forces Haisaki away, but then Tiamba grenades from Ruby.
H-Win is behind the rock. Cover goes down. Smokes galore. Tiggleton going for the revive. Sonics definitely cannot be affording to go down 3 players. They haven't been able to really fight as 4 for very much in this tournament. Their opportunity to do so. They've still got some vehicles, but a lot of that smoke utility has now been expended. Oh, big nade. James pushing it. Gets rid of 4. Second. Not much of a concern for them. Dano, of course, looking pretty good, but here go the Sonics on the move.
They were not able to just try and take that fight against Yama because Everest instead they're going to choose one and commit to it. And driving forward, the first.
It's not best. Right in the middle by Cerberus and Tiamba. They pick apart. They're getting torn to shreds for the Sonics. Fortunately, match 10 still not going to be where it turns around for them. 3 kills, but again, placement points lacking. Going into the final today will need a massive day if they are to make winners bracket.
Seeing some amazing plays, ridiculous plays out of mine before. They don't count them out just yet, but 22 Esports now swinging on in. Tiamba having to force fight them. Tong has gone down to Hazelton, and Mime is trying to answer back with a grenade zone.
Some good damage, gets the dock onto Gazera. 28 health though for Mime, he just picks over. I don't mind it though, not allowing them to have a... He just throws out the knee, but he loses his life. The end of Guangdong Freaks. What can you really do about that? Not a whole lot. Tiamba fall as well for Esports. And the nade from Mime ended up getting knocked onto Hazelton from the grave, and it may just have the knock-on effect here for the Guangdong Freaks to go over and clean up.
We got a number of teams pushing onto 22. Come on, Hazelton, the grenade doesn't quite Haven. And he's taking some shot at Ian, actually is able to get another knock. But Cerberus, they have fully taken control of this position. They have swooped over this spot.
Cerberus having a tremendous down. Already earlier. Back on Miramar, now a knock onto Haven. 8 kills and really just flexing their muscles and showing the firepower that they have within them. Essentially the pride of APAC in this group, and the lead from the front. They go to double-digit kills. They go into the top 3, and they are assuring that they are a contender here at PGC 2022.
Remember when I said that they were underwhelming day 1? This is what I expected from Cerberus all along. Can they push this even further? But Na'Vi right now, they're wounded. They're a bit bleeding. Overpeakers pushing out of their position with still 4 up. The circle favors the east side, but it favors Yahoo more than anyone else.
Yahoo, of course, have the circle for now, but Na'Vi overpeakers to the north will battle out. Vard pushing forward. Oh, but he gets spotted. Alia, nice knock. Gets the big knock onto Vard, going for the flush immediately. Na'Vi need the points here. 5th place at the moment, and they would like to keep in touch with the likes of Dano and Cerberus just above them. Trying to get some separation. Too happy as well. Valuable points going into the final day for them, of course, for day 3 later in the week. Duck might knock onto ICAD. So only example in
Overpeakers not overcommitting onto Na'Vi. You can see a few of them swinging to the north side, dealing some damage to Cerberus. They're even getting some knocks in this venture. Huge play. It's all in the Himas right now. And Tycon, of course, as well, but Himas on the ground needs to get cover. But it's also Duckbite swinging in from the north. 22 are eliminated to Yahoo.
GEX being spotted as well from Yahoo. So they've got the eyes on just about everyone here. Duckbite the tree. Clippers spotted him. Kano, almost out of ammunition, though. 19 shots remaining. For example, with a good angle. Clib's not sure who really wants to just keep an eye here. Ali's been knocked down by James, though, and this might just allow overpeakers to push into the compound of Na'Vi. I don't think Alia's in a position to get revived here. Example, no, getting pushed aggressively. He'll close his door. Mad He's got no time to waste. He's going for the revive. He has to stick this, and I think and get the revive successfully if they're to win this fight.
Well, they're gonna need good damage, but no, not just yet. The revive is being stuck. They're hiding. They need the revive. They need